Good morning, guys, from Lake Havasu, Arizona. We're here at Craggy Wash, a free BLM camping area, and last night was our first night here and it was great. Nice and quiet, uneventful, a lot warmer than the weather we've been experiencing for the past few months, so that was rather refreshing. We were actually able to leave the windows open while we were sleeping. Haven't been able to do that since like the summer in Alaska. So today I would like to talk to you about what's it like driving around the country in an old motorhome. Our rig back there is a 99 Tiffin Allegro. That thing's pushing 18 years old. Things are starting to wear out. Fortunately, I'm able to fix most of them in-house. Yeah, I may need to track down parts, but most things I can either fix or jerry-rig to buy me some time. So if you're considering or already have an old motorhome and want to know what it's like, it really does pay to be handy. If you're familiar with like a screwdriver and some basic tools, that can take you a lot of places and save you a lot of money. And on this trip, I have to say, it seems like I'm having to work on our motorhome a lot more. It's a fact of life, things wear out. That's like a house on wheels, rolling around, bouncing around some of the roughest roads, because we tend to frequent, remote places. And all that bouncing around, combined with age, really takes its toll. So today, I'm going to share a few of the things that I've been having to work on lately just to keep our old Nelly on the road. I should probably first start off with a water leak that we found. My side of the bed was a little wet, and fortunately I was able to find the leak, and this hose clamp was just going drip, drip. You can kind of see evidence of the drip spot right there. So it stopped dripping, but I cut a little paper bowl down and set it under there just to make sure over time that I fixed the leak. We first found it when we were in Vegas and on city water. I would have noticed this problem a lot sooner if we were on our regular water pump boondocking, because the system would have kept bleeding down and you'd hear the pump going brrr, brrr. So what I've been doing for the past few days is opening up this heater cover on the back compartment of the motorhome to increase airflow into that void back there underneath the bed. So here's what's happening on the inside for the drying process. For the past few days, I took our rear heater and I undid the ducts and have the, let me turn this fan off. That's better. And I have the heater pumping air into there. That was a good solution, but then I decided to pick up this fan and just dry things out, speed things up a little. But it is definitely drying out nicely over the past 24 hours. I hope I'm doing this the right way and don't regret not just pulling the cabinetry and pulling the carpet up. So while we were in Vegas, we also experienced an electrical problem, and we smelled burning, and it just was not a good thing, and we kind of killed the power to the motorhome just for safety. But we were able to track it down, and we found right here where our cord comes into the motorhome or out of the motorhome, whichever way you want to think about it, the wires somehow started contacting each other and ended up arcing and smoking. And what I found when I got in there was this wire nut right here, I think somehow either came loose or fell apart, but all this stuff started melting. Oh no, this was the wire nut that went bad, and then it was kind of touching this wire. That one got a little blackened, and fortunately that was a pretty easy fix because I keep a little handy toolkit with a bunch of wire connectors on board. Now I know a lot of things, but electricity is not one of my strong suits, and also plumbing for that matter. But I could find the problem, but fortunately Beck's uncle's an electrician in Yuma, and he was able to help me confirm that that was the only thing going on. We have one of those multimeters, you've seen them, they got that dial that you can twist all the different settings, and some are digital, some have a little needle. He was able to tell me what settings to put it on and where to hook each lead to test the problem. Like, I know how to use the multimeter essentially to get like a 12 volt reading, but that's about the extent of it. So we got lucky that I was able to fix that one in a matter of an hour, and kind of free because I already had the wire nuts. The next problem I'm going to share with you today has to do with our hot water heater. We have a hot water heater that runs off electricity, and propane. So if you're in like an RV park or have your generator running, you can use the electric aspect of it. Or if you're out boondocking, you can use the propane part of it. And I've been having problems with the propane actually firing up and igniting. And what I found was this wire right here. If I move it, I can get it to fire off. But then, while I was in there, I also found that the pressure relief valve here is starting to drip. But when we were in Vegas, I was able to pick up this kind of pressure relief valve, and that's just gonna thread on real easily. And I still need to figure out about this little wire thing and where the connection is not connecting. Because this piece is new. I got that at an RV parts store in Vegas. This wire comes out of right there, and there's a chance that this is corroded and part of the problem because that wire actually came with the kit with this. But I didn't want to like trace it all the way back there. So I might just snip it and splice a new end there. But it's really started to seem like one thing after another. Knock on wood, I'm still able to keep on top of it and fix things myself. Here's another little mystery thing that I'm gonna have to keep an eye on, and I've looked to try to figure out what's going on, and I don't see anything leaking. I'm not sure if the camera's gonna pick it up, but there are all kinds of little specks on these ramps, like some type of an oil or something has been flying up and getting splattered back here on this side of the trailer. And my first inclination was to look under the RV to see if anything was leaking, but I also came up here to the front of the ATV, but there's little specks up here. So my process of elimination is going to be working forward to figure out where this little speck of whatever is coming from. I initially thought it might be the gas can that we keep in the bed of the ATV, but now that I've seen it on the front of the ATV, I know that's not possible. I've crawled underneath the motorhome. I don't see any leaks. It's definitely not water. It's some type of an oily substance. So right now, all I can do is keep an eye on my fluids and keep an eye out for leaks. But if something is leaking that much that it's like spraying all kinds of little specks back there, you're probably going to notice it dripping on the ground, at least in my automotive experience. So this one remains under the mystery file. All right, so those are just a few examples of what I'm dealing with right now on our old motorhome, kind of like Bob Villa in this old RV. So right now, I'm going to fire up the generator so I can run that fan and dry out the compartment underneath the bed. What's generally nice about BLM areas is you can do just about anything, obviously within reason, you know, fireworks and target shooting. All right, that's great. You know, they're not overly strict, and this is kind of one of our type of places. We've reached the part of the world where there are tons of places like this that are either BLM or, you know, some other authorities' land, and they just let you camp for free. So that's why we've been wanting to hang out in this part of the world for the deeper parts of winter. So now I'm gonna head down the trail and see how far back this little road goes. Okay guys, I'm 2 to 3 miles back here, and it's kind of breaking off into a system of trails. So this is going to require further exploration. But there's a lot of really nice campsites here. Just keep in mind, further back you get, the rougher the road gets. So if you don't have the ability to scout things out, you know, just pick the first good spot. There are places to get turned around if you had to. Most of the campsites are also pull-throughs, so that is very helpful. So I'm going to wrap this video up for the day. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow.